Why was this a really great session? What I enjoy about going to a studio is equipment, right? Microphones, preamps, compressors, all this kind of stuff. The studio had a wonderful room, wonderful space, but the setup was super minimal. And what I mean by that is you had 32 channels, you had 16 Neve and 16 API. That was it for kind of external processing. No compressors, no EQs, none of this outboard stuff. And then a really nice mic collection. All of your choices, obviously, outside of the instruments and the players, was just mic choice, preamp and placement. No fancy compression or anything like this. Even when we were recording into Pro Tools, just stock plugins, you know, none of the fancy stuff going on, which I'm used to. So again, we're working with stock EQ, stock compression, just really as basic as it gets with the processing side of things, which was actually quite nice for me because it was a completely different flip of the process I'm normally used to. Pulled me out of it, but then it allowed me to think really strategically and kind of committing to the sounds as best as possible in that moment, which was really great. And even now, after I've taken the songs back home, I've done a little bit of processing here and there, but I've really tried to stick as best as possible to the stock plugins just to really kind of commit to that sound we had captured there. Kept it really simple, really honest and true to the music. Starting off with the drum kit, on the kick out we had the Neumann FET 47, and then we were also using Pete's AKG T12 as the kick in. On the snare we had top and bottom were both 57s. For the overheads, we had two sets. We were using a pair of Coles and a pair of AKG 414s. Coles were set up quite wide, whereas the 414s were kind of like a smaller XY style. We also had a set of Sennheiser 421s on the toms, using a Neumann KM184 on the hi-hats and a Bayer Dynamic 201 on the side snare. There was also a piece of technology which I've actually never used before. I've used it in different forms, but not in this instance, which is called the Aftersound Reverb Phone. And it's basically a upstanding plate reverb that, besides using it as a plate reverb, you can also use it as a microphone. Can basically extend the length of the room you're working in. I placed it behind the drummer and it basically lived there for the whole week. It sounded really great. A couple of times I'll be changing the length on the reverb, but most of the time it was on the shortest, just to give us a different character in the room, just something to play with, but sounds really lovely. Really was vibing with this. Lastly, capturing the overall room sound are the Bash Audio RMBIV1. And I just had these mics placed basically facing down to the floor, quite close, maybe about this high off the ground. And they sounded really nice, really clean. I'll actually give you a quick demo of what all of this is sounding like.